Yes, you do not have to wait. If you have any of the signs and symptoms like a body rash, a fever, headache, and body weakness, visit your nearest health facility immediately. We do not have to take any chances, my brother.
We need to immediately inform our peers in the club to be careful.
You see, with Mpox, the magic is in getting treatment early. Those who have suffered severe disease, they wasted a lot of time either treating themselves or ignoring the disease.
Save your life. Seek treatment early, only from professional health workers whenever you feel unwell. For more information
About Mpox,
call a Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to YouReport on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health Uganda
with support from UNICEF, WHO,
and its partners.
Juko.
Yo.
Wachikuwa. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth, in the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
The Uganda Cooperative Alliance invites cooperators and the general public to the National Cooperative Conference 2025 on Thursday, 18th September at Kololo National Celebration Grounds to celebrate our achievements to date. The conference will be graced by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, as chief guest. The highlight will be the launch of the National Cooperative Savings and Credit Society Limited, a precursor to the National Cooperative Bank. Come one, come all.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Welcome back from GMU Business. Time for the agenda. And today we are looking at World Suicide Prevention Day, changing the narrative. My name is Julie F. Nantava, and looking at just a bit of a background, September 10th, really every year, is when World Prevention Suicide is commemorated. Now, this is a day commemorated every year, and it's one celebrated or commemorated to provide awareness and commitment as well as action to prevent suicide. It's a day that began in the year 2003, and worldwide statistics, looking at statistics worldwide, according to World Health Organization, it's about 40,000 females of 300,000 that are female suicides. So it's female suicidal cases, and about 150,000 males of the global 500,000 are male suicidal cases. Now in Africa, and this is according to the World Health Organization, Africa has the highest suicide rate in the world. Yeah, estimated at about 11 people out of 100,000 people, higher than that of the global coverage, which is 9 people out of 100,000 people, with Lesotho being the highest country with the highest suicide rate in the world, not just in Africa, but in the world. Now, when it comes to Uganda, in recent years, Uganda has seen a notable increase in suicide cases, particularly among young people. And according to the 2024 Police Annual Crime Report, there were 218 attempted suicide cases, and that is a 26% increase from 165 cases reported in the year 2023. And according to World Health Organization data, 2014, Uganda ranked 17th globally when it comes to suicide cases in the world. Now, I'm being joined by a mental health advocate and expert to speak into this narrative, and a little later on we'll also have a psychologist join us to speak into this narrative. But I am with Muzamil Kaibo, who is a mental health social worker, to help us understand this picture indeed, and as to how we can change the narrative. 0709 02592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage by text WhatsApp and be a part of the conversation. Good morning, Muzamil.
Good morning, Julie.
Thank you so much for coming through, and we'll take it off right away, talking about changing the narrative. What narrative is existing? What are we trying to change?
Thank you so much, Julie. Good morning, viewers. My name is Muzamil Kaibo. I work with Mental Health Uganda. We are almost celebrating our Silver Jubilee this year as Mental Health Uganda, in the line of supporting people with mental health issues. Yeah, when we talk about suicide, as you have narrated, globally, Africa, Uganda, the annual crime report from the police, it is showing that 218 number of attempted suicide. As Mental Health Uganda, we are running a toll-free line. We have already observed the last year 1,023 cases related to suicide. And these were mostly common among the youth. At the age of 25 to 30, we have seen that the number is almost 44.4%, which is alarming to our country.
How far back is this?
Come again?
How far back is this?
It is just 2024, the only year.
Right.
Yeah, the year was 2024. We received almost that number. And those are the few ones that have tried to call and seek help, professional help. And we are seeing that this kind of issues or the case of suicide is increasing in different angles due to different triggers that are happening, like the unemployment, the issues of drug addiction, the depression that is related to relationship, and different kind of sphere, how people are living, the lifestyles, how people are living in this kind of the country. So we are seeing that all that is the narrative that we are talking about. How do we change it? It's all of us. Yes, how do we change it? We need to talk these issues. We normalize the conversation about mental health.
Right. So when it comes to the narrative, that there are many misconceptions that come with suicide. What are those misconceptions that are included in this current narrative?
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, when we look at our country, culturally, people have put the stigma around that. Like if someone is battling with the suicide, the misconception is about witchcraft. Is about the spiritual, the natural spiritual things that are happening, which is not the case. Like any person who can suffer with the malaria, HIV, any kind of sickness or disease, health problem, it's like that. People are seated on certain issues that you cannot imagine. Like they are battling, struggling with some issues inside their brain. Like someone doesn't have what to eat. Or he has lost, he's in grief, he's grieving, but other people are talking about him or her. So it means that there are so many things. The myth behind the talk of suicide is about that one is not a man enough if he's a man. He's not a woman enough, he's not strong, be courageous. An African person is not supposed to be like that. Who told you? We have feelings, we have thinkings. The mood can always swing. So if there is something that can trigger the anger problem, the workplaces sometimes can also cause the issues. So there are a lot behind the suicide. Yes.
Now let's look at you as a mental health expert, a mental health social worker. How does your work connect with suicidal tendencies or work that is around suicide?
Thank you so much. When we talk about the social work, we talk about the social issues. So the social problems that are existing in the communities are the ones that bring people to cause the kind of like losing hope, losing their destiny, losing the direction where they are supposed to head on. So if the social problems are not handled well, because everything that originates from someone or that makes up a person is about the social concept. The social concept where you are living, the family, the extended family might be the extended family or the nuclear family or where the neighbors are. Those are all the social issues that are surrounding this person. And the person is a human being. This human being is having the feelings, is having the thinking, and he can always have like what to do next. And what to do next if it is not answered well, it means that it can cause that person to suffer with the issues. Let me talk about an example. If your basic needs are threatened, like you want to access the social basic needs, you are not able to access them, automatically your life might be at a point where you are not clear what next to your own life.
Right.
Yes.
Now let's look at mental health in regards mental health social work and psychology. How does mental health social work in its implementation or working with people who deal with suicidal ideologies, how does it differ from psychologists working with people who are dealing with suicidal tendencies?
All right, thank you so much. That's a wonderful question. In terms of the psychologists, they deal with the psychosocial kind of issues that are related to provide counseling. But the social work looks in different avenues. The social needs do the assessment, what we can call the social needs assessment. In terms of the social needs assessment, if someone is maybe battling with certain issues within the family, we look at the social support system. What are other social support systems that helps this person to come out clearly and understand and cope up with the kind of the challenges he's going through, as far from the psychologist who deals with the patent issue at hand, and at the end we deal with only that issue, then we leave that person to go into the community. So where we are seeing the community, that's where we have to go as social workers to deal with the social issues that are disturbing this person, that might be fighting or making this person uncomfortable in his own environment. And we deal with those issues one at a go, which means that it goes beyond the counseling, but it looks at the implementation actions behind, far from the counseling service.
Right, 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should be able to engage and be a part of the conversation. World Suicide Prevention Day is every September, and it was last week on the 10th of September, and this time around, changing the narrative on suicide is what we are looking at. Be a part of the conversation and share your questions, your opinions, and what you think, your mindset around suicide. Would be lovely to learn and relearn together. Now, let's look at some of the factors that often contribute to suicidal thoughts in your experience.
Thank you so much for that good question. Most of the issues that are causing or triggers to kind of the social disability for this person to be suffering, it's about sometimes childhood trauma. The childhood trauma or any trauma that someone is going through. It might be the trauma at workplace, it might be the trauma at home, it might be the trauma in the community that you are living in. It has causing you always to lose hope because there is some kind of stigma that's coming up to you directly, like someone saying, oh, you mean that you can't make this one? And you have been battling with it. You are struggling to make your ends meet. And someone is seeing you as if you were a failure. Sometimes that one causes this person not to live like, am I not able to be a full person? So that's one. Secondly, sometimes our verbal talks. Verbal talks are always causing us problems. Sometimes you can be on social media and you watch how people are responding. Someone is saying that I have failed for the last 10 years, I have failed to secure a job. And someone is saying, come on. And that talk sometimes looks to be casual, but someone is battling with certain issues. Also, like someone is buried, like infertility. He is struggling to get a child, but he has failed. Or they have been in a relationship, but this relationship looks to be like not making it. And someone is saying, maybe this is not enough for me, or I'm not Am I not a woman enough? Sometimes also cheating, like we can call it infidelity in a relationship. It is also causing a lot of these issues because we have failed to understand what a relationship is. And that kind of a background, we can't exhaust it as of now, but among the youth, it is common. It is sharpening. It is always, every time, now and then, it is increasing because the issues in relationship are more and more and more. And they are making these young people not to understand what to do next. And also, sometimes the kind of marriage breakups. I'm talking to this because the family, we are looking at the secure place, but now this time around, it is causing more harm than good. Breakups and maybe single parenting either a woman or a man, sometimes they face a lot of challenges and they are always reached at in the corner where they don't see any other hope and they say, maybe this is the way to live. And I'm saying this, you have an option. That option, you can always talk to the professionals. You can
let's look at, it's interesting that most times when you we have these conversations on mental health or suicide, we look at the side of one being a victim, which is ideally true. It's not a doubt. There's no doubt about it. I mean, life happens and it hits you a different way and you get into that place where you're depressed. There's all these mental issues going on with you and you find yourself in a pit. But let's flip the coin and look at people who probably have their own issues that are causing them to be in that state. For example, psychopaths. Psychopaths are really people who are always harming others. They are antisocial. They're never sorry. You know, they are always extremely entitled. And you find that people don't want to associate with them, which causes them to be alone for the most part of their lives. And I believe being alone is one of the things that could easily trigger someone to be depressed in one way or the other. But remember, this is not caused by the people around them, but rather by them themselves. How do you deal with cases like that? Because ideally, it might ultimately end up in suicide.
True. Thank you so much. You know, sometimes we talk about the distress, the issues that someone has been always having for like a certain period. It might be 2 weeks or another and far. So when you look at you can see someone's behavior. There are those ones that are called narcissist.
Yeah, narcissistic people, yes.
Narcissistic people.
Right.
And those are always have those issues when you talk about the psychopaths. And the narcissistic are always sometimes near and closer to one another. Because they are always born or sometimes adopted to certain kind of environment, and they pick that kind, they see as that I have always to see someone crying. I'm always supposed to be on top of the game, always. And he doesn't want peace at all. In each and any kind of environment, he's always trying to create anarchy or trying to destabilize everyone who is there. So how do we deal with these people? We always talk to them. We always show the positive side of their life, which is the positive side of every person. No one is born to be always annoying another person. No one is not born to give, like, being a problem to every person. So we deal with those issues. We break them slowly, slowly.
I wonder what the experience is like, because I think it's even easier to speak to someone who's discouraged and is depressed and, you know, help them show the light, rather see the light of a future, a brighter future, because at that point they are vulnerable. But narcissistic humans and psychopaths are never vulnerable, right? And to help them see anything that does not concern them, that it's about others, is the hardest task. I'm trying to picture how you are able to convince this human who's extremely entitled to that dot and flip that coin.
Yeah, thank you so much. You know, always, if we want to get better, we need to begin by acceptance.
Which is hard for most of them.
Which is hard.
They never accept.
Yes.
Yes.
But because of the way we are trained as professionals,
right,
we give them the time to give their views. But afterwards, we need to break that in a simplest way. Because we need to understand, where do you want to live in a simplest way? It will not be one day of talk, but it will be a series or different sessions that can help this person to pick something in a day. Because if you are reaching in a certain kind of environment and everyone is saying, he or she has come, it means that you are having an issue with that kind of people. So, which means that we need to deal slowly to these people. That is their kind of, sometimes it might be from their birth, and we need to break those kind of issues slowly, and we develop coping mechanisms. Treatment is not a one day off thing. We need to engage and talk and talk. You know, sometimes information can be a kind of a pillar that can support this person. Always give information to this person. Give information. Yes, you might be reading on the other kind of a chapter, but you can always put your chapter near to him. And that chapter can help this person to always say, oh, come on, this is not the kind of life like I'm supposed to be. Because if we are looking at the other people to be the victim, and now this person is not seeing that he's a victim to him or to about his life.
Right.
We need to bring on board to understand the humanity.
Right. Now, let's bring it back to the conversation on suicide. What exactly does it mean? Elaborate what it means when we say someone has or struggles with suicidal ideation.
Thank you so much. The point is, suicide is a word that comes from someone who has an issue or thinking or feeling like he's hopeless, doesn't have any hope. He has reached on the last door, or he has reached in his corner, is in a dark kind of a room, doesn't see any option to get out of that room. So I'm trying to simplify it. So if someone has reached to that point, you can sometimes talk and say, but I need this. I'm not seeing any future. You are just giving me this information, but it can't help me at all. What do we bring on board? Suicide is about someone trying to attempt, or to, if it is not attempt, it might be the thought, the idea, like, maybe I can end my life. It might be that kind of a talk inside you. I know if it's not 100%, 99.5, every person has ever experienced that one, where you reach and you say, life is not making it for me. So it means that maybe I can stop here. You lose your functionality. You only see like that you need to close the door, shut your life, you join another world, and you are seeing this earth is not much engaging to you. So what do I bring? What are we supposed to say on this kind of a point? Is about suicide is a case or is a condition that affects a human being where he sees himself or herself hopeless, can't be supported at all, can't do anything functional in his or her own life, and at the end he sees that I have to depart from this world.
Wow. At the end of the day, that's why they take the decision thinking it's the end. Yet there's always light at the end of the tunnel. I'm having this conversation with Muzamil Kaibo, who is a mental health social worker, and we are looking at World Suicide Prevention Day 2025, changing the narrative. Now let's take a short break, and when we get back, we'll be joined by another colleague to speak into this very matter. Save the number 0709 602592, WhatsApp number to which you can text. If you call, I'll not be able to pick your call, but text it so that I'm able to read your message, and you are very effectively answered and responded to. Good morning.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My friend Baka was found to be positive for Mpox at his old age. He needs our prayers. By the way, Timo, did you know that Mpox-related deaths occur among people with underlying conditions like HIV/AIDS, diabetes, malnutrition, and other old age-related illnesses?
Of late, I've not been following Mpox issues. I thought it wasn't that serious. So, are you saying that as long as one has any underlying condition and feels unwell, just run to the hospital?
Yes! You do not have to wait. If you have any of the signs and symptoms like a body rash, a fever, headache, and body weakness, visit your nearest health facility immediately. We do not have to take any chances, my brother.
We need to immediately inform our peers in the club to be careful.
You see, with Mpox, the magic is in getting treatment early. Those who have suffered severe disease, they wasted a lot of time either treating themselves or ignoring the disease.
Save your life. Seek treatment early. Only from professional health workers whenever you feel unwell. For more information
about Mpox,
call the Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health Uganda
with support from UNICEF, WHO,
and its partners. Good morning. Welcome back from that short break. You are watching UBC TV. It's Good Morning Uganda. And at this point, we're having a conversation on World Suicide Prevention Day. How to change the narrative is exactly what we are looking at. 0709-602-592 is a WhatsApp number that you should engage and be a part of the conversation. You could be a family member of someone who committed suicide. Engage. Let's share. Let's learn and relearn. You could be someone who has suicidal tendencies, suicidal ideologies. And as Muzamil elaborated, at least if not 100%, at least 99% of all of us as human beings have been down that spiral where we've thought it's the end and there is no light, there is no solution. Now on set, we've been joined by Andrew Kananura, who is a psychologist from Mental Health Uganda as well. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for joining us. Well, now
you're welcome.
It's important and it's good that you are on set because we've been getting the light from a mental health social worker, but now we also want to get the perspective of a psychologist in regards to suicide. When we talk about changing the narrative, what narrative is existing that we need to change?
Thank you for that good question. When you look at the narrative that is existing right now, you'll find that the main thing we have, like a nation, Uganda, it's a decriminalization of suicide. And we need to change from that, because if you look at it, it's happening currently, and it's not like it's these people who do it, it's not like they want it or they enjoy it, but it's something that comes because there are underlying causes. So we shouldn't see it as a crime the narrative should be changed and let us not see it as a crime. Let us see it as something that can happen to anyone.
Right. As a crime by the Ugandan law, or as a crime by culture, Ugandan culture?
The law itself.
Right.
By Ugandan law,
Right.
you will find that the law looks at it as a crime.
How so?
That's why even when you are mentioning something, you're like committing suicide.
Oh.
And that wouldn't be the best way to say it. At least let's look at something, say attempting suicide or ending life. That sounds more better. By the time you say committing, it shows that maybe someone is committing a crime, and that's why you see all this that we're having, people try not to come out, talk about suicide.
Very interesting. Now, now that you say that somebody does come through and they say good morning, the causes of one committing suicide are many, but acting suicide is a decision of a person. Most of the causes are disappointments, diseases, violence in all forms, and so on. What perspective do you see, Andrew, here with this submission?
What I'm looking at is that, yes, the causes are there, but most of them are mental issues. By the time someone says, I'm ending my life, there are many things happening in his life. He's tired because something is going on in his mind that he feels like, I'm tired and I'm fed up. So we look at things like unemployment, we look at things like gender violence, we look at issues in families, we look at, for students in school, we look at academic pressure. So all this comes in to show that there are causes that let this person end his life.
Right. And the person, the author of this submission actually said that many acting on suicide, it's a decision by a person. Where do you think their headspace is when they use the term, it's a decision by a person to commit suicide?
It's a decision, yes, that's true. It's a term that shows that by the time he says, I'm doing it, he has planned, he has decided to say that it has been something that has been running in mind. So by the time someone makes a decision, it's not something that just comes all of a sudden. He first bases that decision on something that has been going on for long. So that's why we say that at least it is a decision of a person to do it.
Right. In other words, it's a choice. There are many alternatives that they could have chosen from, and one of the many choices was that, right?
Yeah, true.
0709-602-592. And now Muzamil had elaborated what it means to struggle with the suicidal ideation. He had painted a picture for us. But I would also love to pick the perspective of a psychologist from that angle. What does it mean when we say somebody is struggling with suicidal tendencies or suicidal ideations?
Thank you so much for that question. By the time you say that someone is struggling with suicidal ideations, you'll find that this is a person who has been disturbed for long, and he's thinking whether to do it or not to do it, because this is something that's not easily done. So the struggle comes in that you're worried, if I do it, what will happen? You can't easily make such a decision. To end life is not something that comes easily. So by the time you say that you're struggling with the decisions, you're trying to say, should I do it? How should I do it? What will happen to me? The people I leave behind. So at the end of the day, it becomes a struggle. It's not, even if I was the one now and think of death, I think I would struggle with it. Just imagine, because even how you do it, for a normal person who's still in his senses, you look at how you go, because there are methods they use. Someone might think of a rope, someone might think of suicide, of like ending life through drugs, poisoning. But at the end of the day, it's not easy. So there is a lot of struggle that goes on as you think about how to do it, when to do it, and it's a struggle indeed.
Right. Are there cases of, or are there statistics that there are people who have not thought about suicide?
there are people who have not thought about suicide.
Yes, because one thing for sure is everybody, for as long as you're human and living, we go through the trenches and trenches of life. You know, the things that knock us and slap us and hit us differently. But by statistic, there are people who do not ever cross the line of not thinking that it's the end and they're at the end completely. Like a 1%.
It should be there. It's not something that you, like I've said, by the time you say that, let me do it, a lot has happened in your life. A lot has worried you. So it's like you've mentioned, it could be like a 1%, but this is something that everyone has ever had an idea of, because we all go through a lot. We all go through challenges in life. So you find that, yes, that 1% could be there, but at the end of the day, the bigger part of it, we've all thought of that bit.
All right. Let me come back to you, Muzamil. At what point should one seek help? At what point should one make that call to Mental Health Uganda?
Thank you so much. Actually, the space is free. Wherever you feel like you need to talk to someone, because there is always that kind of a thinking that comes, I want to talk to someone, but to whom am I supposed to open to? That's where you begin the conversation with Mental Health Uganda, the toll-free line. When we say, you know, Andrew, my colleague has talked about the decriminalization, or it's like a criminal in Uganda, as like we are using the Penal Code Act of, or the Penal Code of 210. So it is criminal to attempt suicide in Uganda. But now...
So now if you attempt and they find out that you attempted, are you arrested for attempting to take your own life?
Of course, according to what is existing now. But now we are trying that, let us improve, let us change.
Yes.
It looks to be like it's a punitive standard point. Like we are looking at it as a punishment. You get double punishments. You are struggling with something. If you are struggling with malaria and someone comes and slaps you, will you feel okay?
Yes.
So we are still operating into that kind of angle. So we are calling out to the government, let us try to decriminalize, because we are having now the kind of benchmark from other countries like Ghana and Kenya, where they decriminalize the suicide. It's no longer criminal. And they are seeing it as a healthy problem where we can help someone to seek support. Because someone can hide somewhere and say, you know, I want to do this, but I know outside there, they are going to arrest me, do this, and any other. And in our Mental Health Act, like the Act 2018, like in the chapter, section 22, it's talking about the emergency situations, and suicide is among the emergency situations in line with mental health. So if we talk about that, let help this person seek help. Either might be from the relatives to be taken to the other area, the health facility, health center 3, 4, and any other that can provide. So you have said that when we read this person call in, I'm talking about the kind of people that are surrounding this person. Sometimes you can even fear to call. Most of the people who have suicidal thoughts, where they have reached at a kind of a disorder, or somewhere is disorderly, or is ill, can't talk to someone, naps himself, mute. And even you can say, I don't want to talk, I just want to text. After texting, then he can even shut his phone off. So this kind of animal that we are talking about is big. Just imagine, let me just break it in a simplest way. Every minute that passes, there is someone that dies by suicide globally. If we say that in a month, globally, we see 83 point something people that dies, it means that it is a global thing. It's common. It is very common. And sometimes these people that are struggling, they fail to find who to support them. You can always call our toll-free line. It is 0800 21 21 21. Talk to a mental health specialist a counselor, a therapist, psychologist, you'll find that person, you will give that kind of welcome. Even you can reach out to different kind of avenues, because if people talk about mental health issues, automatically they send their signals goes to Tabika only. That is institutional. Let us go back, have the community mental health care. The people within the community can talk about this. Let us normalize these conversations.
The problem is with normalizing these conversations is these spaces are not safe. Whilst you choose to speak, then you become a point of discussion in every circle, which ideally kills the security. And I think that's what could probably cause some people to end it, because the spaces they trusted to protect them, to guide them through this whole situation of life, instead now use this against them. And it becomes a weapon. We are looking at World Suicide Prevention Day, and how are we changing the narrative? Andrew, what does stigma for suicide look like? Well, we've looked at the law, starting with the law, by law and also culturally, but generally paint a picture of what stigma looks like and what many of us could have been doing it unknowingly even.
Thank you so much. It starts with the internal stigma itself to the person who is thinking of ending life. It comes in the way that if I was in that situation, this is when I will think of like, what are people thinking about me if I'm to come out and talk about it? What will they do? So you alone, you're already worried, you're already thinking a lot, you're already not even being able to come out and talk about it. Then when it comes to the external stigma, the people also who know that this is criminal, they won't be able to help you. They are fearing you. They are keeping you at a distance. They know that if you've mentioned it, for example, you coming out and talking about it, when they hear that from you, they'll start seeing you as a criminal. They won't give you time. They won't listen. All this comes in as stigma because of the decriminalization. Then there's that bit of knowing that death is something scary. It's not something that you just comes easily. It's painful. So when someone talks about death and you're next to this person, there's the way you'll see this person as, is he okay? Is she normal? How come she's thinking about death? Death has never been easy. So all that is stigma in its own way. Then culturally, we've seen cultures that see suicide as a taboo. It's a curse. They take it to be a curse. By the time someone says that, oh, if a family, they've ever lost someone, there's a way in the African, more especially in our Ugandan culture, there's a way they look at it and say, there's a problem with that family. Someone ended his life. That alone is stigma in its own way. You will start not, I've seen a situation whereby someone told me, in fact, one of the clients where they were not even able to go and drink from that house, from that home, because they know something happened. They lost someone by suicide. So all that comes in as stigma. But the internal stigma is not the best, because in that process you find that why people are ending their lives more often is because they fail to come out and seek help, having those negative thoughts about it, knowing that what will people say. So the internal stigma affects us a lot, affects the majority of people who end up ending their lives.
Right. Now let me engage some of your comments that are coming through to 0709602592. Phillips from Karamoja, good morning. Suicide cases in Uganda is a reality. I am sure most are job-related, love-related. In 10 years to come, Karamoja will be hit by job and poverty-related suicide cases. Parents educate their children but denied jobs because those who have the money buy the jobs. Those employed in government at higher positions seal positions for their children. They send them to Karamoja for jobs. Good morning. Thanks for the show. My concern is how much is the program stretched in terms of reachability, urban to rural? What plans are put on the table to ensure sensitization is spread all over? I happened to have been a victim of suicide, but I should inform the public that a number of citizens of the world and Ugandans as a nation are. I think you would address issues that bring about suicide. People need their problems addressed. Teenage mothers, unemployment, peer influence, tax burden, political penetration, etc. Can you move from your comfort zones and reach out to the marginalized? Come smell the wounded. Put off your coats. This is Michael from Bugweri district. What do you think about Michael's submission, Mozamir?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mike. Your message is talking to so many people outside there. We are not seated as Mental Health Uganda, as we are pledging or we are requesting other partners and other kind of people that are in this field to talk about suicide as a preventive way. We can prevent, we can avoid, we can save a life. Also, my call is just to let you know that you can always call our toll-free line. You just share with us. You can feel free to talk to us. 0800 21 21 21. It is simple because we know outside there so many people are struggling. So when you talk about the issues in job-related poverty and so many other things, securing a job somewhere it is difficult. And even there was a study that was carried out in the Karamoja region, especially in Kotido, when it talked about the climate changes. It is also trying to bring the emotional distress, where someone loses everything, looking at the cows, and that's where he's supposed to earn a living. And the narrative has changed where those people have engaged. We have so many partners that are engaging into this. And that study helped a lot to air out, like people were aware about some information that it is not me alone, but we are many into this kind of a game. So what am I trying to answer into the conversation that people have brought out? Awareness is everyone's carcass. It's not only Mental Health Uganda, even the media, even the duty bearers, we need to amplify this. Right. We have talked to many professionals who are battling with these issues. And this, when I say professionals, I'm meaning people who have in those big offices, but they are struggling. Right. And someone who is down there is saying that no, that one is not struggling. No one is not struggling. Everyone is struggling. Right. So into that kind of struggling, we are looking at the coping mechanisms. Those coping mechanisms that we are trying to develop. You can't fight poverty today. Poverty is a big animal. Even someone is earning like 100, like 1M, who will say that I'm also poor. Even the other one who is earning less than $1. What can we differentiate? So it means that we need just to know how do we cope up within the environment.
Right. Now, the next question I would pose to Andrew, and as we begin to bring this conversation to a close, is why statistics show that men are more prevalent to this than women. And I'll first read this comment that comes through from Muslim, who says, Julie, thank you a lot for inviting those gentlemen to the show. The truth is that people are really oppressed in different areas of life. I myself, last year, I was almost committing suicide in Dubai. This came from a partner and a mother to my daughter who would put me on pressure, money after money, money after money, money after money. So I really felt hopeless and useless. I'm Muslim, live in Manafwa. In Manafwa is where I found peace. And I wish they put mental health services at Health Center 4s. For more information, especially men, we really are not safe. Thank you. Andrew, over to you.
Thank you, Julie. That's a common question. Like you've said, men are have a bigger percentage. Right. In June, we celebrated men's mental health. Yes. It became an issue, and that topic came up still. Why men? Naturally, men, I'm a man, we tend to feel we are I think we tend to think we are above the moon, we are strong.
Yeah.
That ego we have. At the end of the day, we think we are not vulnerable, but inside we are dying. So what happens? That even when we have all these mental health challenges, we fail to seek for help because we know we can do it by ourselves. But that's not the case, Julie. The truth is that we are also human beings. And when you find that at the end of the day, when a man is unable to get this help that he's supposed to get, he thinks of ending life. Because solutions come in handy, Julie. When someone has a mental health challenge, one of the best ways you can get help is to talk to someone.
That's true.
But when you find that you, as a man, you're unable to talk to someone, then you're keeping it to yourself. The more you keep it to yourself, the more it increases, the more it gets worse. So by the time you come out and say, let me get a solution, the solution just comes up like, I think I'm tired of this. Let me just end life, because I can't tell it to anyone. And even when you look at how society perceives us as men, you're a lady, you will tell me that, man, you're not supposed to cry. Men don't cry. That is a common saying.
I've never been on that side. I always encourage men around me to cry. I want to see you cry. Cry, cry, cry. Release.
Please do that. We need that.
Right.
Men are supposed to be also to allow.
And many do not appreciate it. That's the funny thing. Men.
Men do not appreciate it.
Men do not want to cry.
The good thing, we are looking at changing the narrative. That's the theme.
Yes.
Men out there, let's change this narrative. We can still change it. Let's know that we are also human beings. We can cry, we can be hurt. So by the time we accept that that can happen to us, you will find that ending life would be the last resort. You women, at least it's the way you do it. You come out easily and share.
Yeah, we do. We share our problems easily.
True. I've seen friends who are like, she's disturbed and she's like, man, let me go and have a night over with a friend and just talk it out.
Talk it out, yes.
By the time this lady comes back, she's fresh. Somehow the problems are solved. But a man, you'll find a man smiling, trying to show that all is well, but inside there is a file, a big file of issues. So that's why you find that men will just, by the time he says that, let me dispose of this file, it will be like to the grave.
Wow, time is against us and September is still on. I really look forward to having this team from Mental Health Uganda to speak more and more into this matter, because a lot is still undealt with and yet the narrative needs to be changed. But at least for Muslim in Manafwa, cry it out. It's okay. It's okay for men to cry, and the stigma should change, the law should change. Let's change the narrative together. In just a second, Muslim, what's your parting shot?
My parting shot is to say, everyone outside there, be kind, be empathetic, listen to one another, be a human being, don't judge people. People are struggling. Many outside there. Even wherever we say that when you see 4 people, 5 people, there is one who is battling with mental health issue.
Right.
So please be kind. Always listen to one another. Thank you. Call our toll-free line, 0800 21 21 21, to seek a professional service. And after that talk, maybe they can do appropriate referral if the service is not appropriate enough to comprehend your problem. Thank you, Julie.
Andrew, what's your parting shot?
Thank you so much. Mine is first to the government. I'm trying to look at, we've talked about changing the narrative. And my parting shot is like, let's see the government work on this policy to see that at least we're no longer seeing suicide as a crime. And to the people out there who have people who have these thoughts around you, let's not judge them. Let's provide help. Let's listen to them. And let's help each other to end this kind of burden that is hitting our country.
Right. Changing the narrative is the theme. Let us all change the narrative and prevent suicide in the whole world. Up next is Ruben with Good Morning Uganda, the sports edition.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take